We are now going to continue from where we stopped. I now invite the member for Combo East. Oh, thank you. He voluntarily withdrew. Thank you. The member for Fonyi Council.
Boy, wake up. Wake up. Thank you very much, Speaker. I also thank the committee, the Select Committee of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Youth and Sport for they made a countrywide tour to various sites across the country. Honorable Speaker, through the chair of the committee, I have a suggestion that I think it will be prudent to make headways so far historical sites are concerned. If not late, maybe by next year budget, I'm suggesting we come with a special fund as part of the budget for the Ministry of Tourism so as to preserve those historic sites. We all know that a convention has been passed, but yet still we wouldn't had anything of it. But trying to create our own will also solidify the ground to see the effectiveness, protection of our historic sites. The other thing also about the Songhai initiative that they visited, I believe utmost best could be performed in terms of funding to see a meaningful growth for the youths. The other thing also is as per the Minister of Youth and Sport and also the National Youth Council, I think, sensitization is lacking in the whole country. Let them work on to see how best they can re-engage groups or regional committees within regions to address some of the gaps that they have in their committee engagement and also in youthful representation. If that is done, I think it will also give a headway to the key performance. The other thing also, the Honorable Chair of the committee said this is a countrywide tour. And I believe so, but it seems as if when they reach the Funis, they have made a high jump of Buyang. So I am putting it to them that we have an incomplete structure of a ministerium worth millions. Yes, still, if you ask the minister, funding, contractor, this issue X, Y, Z. So I don't even know what went wrong. Structures have been built, halfway along the line, 1 or 2 years fence falls down, winds also destroyed. So I think we need to, the committee should also commit stiff resolutions to see best ways in which they will be able to address some of those challenges. The other thing that I also want to talk on is the Independence Stadium. I think Operation Bulldozer, should work at the Independence Stadium, I suggest. Why? Because I say so. Others are saying 10 million, others are saying 100 million. The figures is not known. I think the committee should vividly help us or what is given so far the first phase of FIFA renovation is concerned. Go around the Independence Stadium and see their fence that they've adjusted. Even a layman like me, I could do a better job than what the contractors are doing. So you give monies, you don't even see the usefulness of it. So I think the Independence Stadium with all its cohort management, we need to do an Operation Bulldozer in the Independence Stadium. If not, we will be engaging, giving funds, and then we don't even see anything. So the Gambia today, looking at the cognizance of the under 20, they're doing extremely well. Their training camps, other issues are done outside. So in so regard as an independent stadium, we cannot. For years of struggling, and when, would we be able to move along this and to see that it is renovated, and how far? You go the same structures, the same toilet facilities, the same painting that you see, you don't even see anything that is meaningful. The fences that are adjusted, all has collapsed. So if they said they are doing renovation, I think something is lacking somewhere else. So I hold this responsible to the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the National Sport Council to do the needful in instituting an operation bulldozer in the independent stadium to act wisely and make sure those funds are put in the right position. If not, it's going to be a problem. You know, I believe so. Sometimes also I could say this, that contracts that have been awarded to various infrastructural sporting arenas, I think, you know, the right bidding or right processes are not done. Either you want to favor your own nephew or your own uncle. If, for example, I am a contractor, I don't even do the needful job of this mini stadium, why can't you hold me responsible? But when you talk to the contractors, even in us in Buyam, the contractor we said, I was not even paid enough money to make sure I do. I was using my own. So now you don't even know who is who to be blamed. So I think these are issues that we need to address as we all initiating for a sporting arena. I think this should be history. You know, so it's sympathetic, and we will continue this mess so far right institutions and right leadership is not guided. So I think pragmatism counts in leadership, you know, to make sure some of those things are addressed. That's why for me personally, I support a dictator who earns for development. If so, you hold them responsible. Either you put them behind bars or they act wisely. Because millions cannot be invested at the end of the day. People will do their flamboyant life the way they like. So this is the status quo that we are in. We have to be very serious. Institutions must be serious, leadership must be serious, and also department in which all those funds are put in place need to be serious. If not, they'll take us right. So on that note, I am sorry for our situation, but I think the committee has done enormous best. But I also want to see, if possible, we come with a resolution that will pin the work of all those institutions. We hold them, tie them up, make them to know. We concatenate all their doings to make sure the key factors in which we owe as a sport discipline is cared for. On that note, I thank you and say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, member for Fonye Councillor. I now recognize the member for Sanimentering constituency.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First of all, I will thank you for the way you pronounce Sanimentering. I like it. Thank you. And also, Honorable Speaker, I will thank the committee for going throughout the Gambia to visit sites that we feel or they felt it is necessary for them to do their oversight functions. And also, I will thank them so much for bringing this report to presenting this report to the plenary. And having gone through the report, Honorable Speaker, I will start off with the Kunta Kinte Island. The Kunta Kinte Island, with regards to the alkali receiving salary. Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the committee through the chair or the layer of the report whether they have tried to find out if the salary, this alkalis are receiving salary, whether it is across the country or it is only at the Greater Banjul area. And I suggest it should be throughout the Gambia. So if alkalis are receiving salary throughout the Gambia, throughout the country, I see no reason why alkalo should be receiving salary with regards to the little money that they earn. And also with the Kia West National Park, is a very interesting area that our children might have at least increased their knowledge of education in that sector. And with regards to that park, Honorable Speaker, the watchman receiving the committee taking round to the entire park, I asked the committee if there is no management of that park, or is there any was there any committee set up that at least the chair would have led them to at least explain a better thing about that park, how it is created, how the animals are living there or whatsoever. And Honorable Speaker, with regards to Sukuta Dembadu, my hometown, and this is my constituency. And I dare not call that Sukuta football field a mini stadium. Really. I'll get embarrassed outside, or if an outsider asks me to show him or her a mini stadium in my community. It is not a mini stadium. This is even not a good football field. It is dilapidated everywhere. And I will challenge the committee, and also I'll advise the committee at least to see a better way that you can advise the ministry to upgrade that football field. Sukuta is a very big community, really. And we need to empower our youths. We stand in parliament day in, day out, talking about empowerment of our own children, talking about empowerment of our youths. When we are not ready, if I say we, it means the government, in another way, it is not ready to empower women or to empower youths in terms of, with regards to sports. I'll advise the committee to look into that properly, and then also advise the ministry how best you can, collaborate with them to see that they will improve the football field at Sukuta. I will not call it a mini stadium. And in conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the youths facing serious financial challenges or constraints both in the infrastructural development, governance, management, and ownership of land problem that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. I don't think it will be fair for the youths of this nation to face such challenges in terms of empowering them in sports. And I think the world is even advancing in sports, so why not Gambia? But I cannot see a sign that is leading us to that point. So I think we need to work hard as a parliament, and of course the government, to work hard to make sure that our youths are daily engaged in sport activities with support, either financial support or whatsoever. And finally, Honorable Speaker, since it is the report of the Select Committee on Tourism, Arts, Culture, Youth and Sports on its visit to supporting facilities and tourist sites across the country. The word culture reminds me of engaging the cultural musicians in the Gambia. It is very important. Our cultural musicians, Jaliba Kuyate is a very powerful musician in the Gambia, of course, and that we can all attest to that. But then I think we also need to encourage the younger ones, motivate them to come up like Jaliba Kuyate. So I expect the committee to also engage some of them, and then at least hear from them and find better ways that we can also empower them. I bet to take my seat. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for signing mentoring. And thank you for those kind words. I now recognize the member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to participate in the debate because now that is the resolution that is part, no more take part or took part. So I wanted to participate in the debate in the presence of when the Ministry of Finance have their representative here, but I can't see them there. Now I want to reserve my issues on this during adjournment debate when either the minister or the executive are here, because it is related to policy issues. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku, thank you very much. In fact, in the morning, I reminded the table office the ruling I made earlier on, in 2022. You remember that whenever a report is being laid, the land ministries or departments, their officials must be present. And that was accepted by this August Assembly and communicated. And we want to reiterate to the office of the clerk that you should take the business of the Assembly serious. And I was made to understand this morning that one of the clerks told us they forgot to inform them, and they called Youth and Sport this morning. They were here and they left because they were not notified earlier. They may not take it serious. So the office of the clerk should take the business serious and write to people and inform them. Go and call them why they are not here. Can you call them and ask them why they left? Yeah, thank you. May I now invite the member for Talinding Kunjang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me start by thanking the chairman of the committee and the team for the efforts dedicated to generating this report. It is indeed loaded with a lot of facts, a lot of details. That notwithstanding, I want to say that there are issues I would have loved to have seen in the report. And these are some of the things I want to raise, and I want to underline that this is no attempt to disparage the good work of the committee, but rather to add value to what we all cherish to achieve together. Now, like previous speakers have said, it's a nationwide tour, and I expect the first of its kind for this sixth legislature. The approach, since it's nationwide, the tour must involve all stakeholders. Now, even by region. Now, what I see, KM and West Coast are the hub of tourism in this country. There you have high concentration of tourist hotels in these countries, bars and all other tourist sites here. But the report, what I see here, I see only Tanje Eco Lodge visit on the report. I see no visit around Katong, Gunjur, and KM area, Senegambia, and these are all hubs. They are tourist sites. And let us not forget, when this committee's function, things is visiting tourist sites, we make sure that we attack all crucial sectors, areas that are important in this, because we are going to assess the way, because this is the two sectors that are in this committee, the youth and tourism, are the most important sectors, one of the most important sectors in this country. We are poor because of the backwardness of these two sectors. And we will remain poor if we will not develop these two sectors properly, the youth sector and the tourism sector. It's either we develop them or we close them before we spend people's resources. Yes, because tourism used to contribute up to 16% of our GDP. Why is it otherwise now? Why is it that's not happening? It's because maybe we derail in our approach. Not only COVID, maybe Ukraine, somebody might also say Ukraine-Russia war. So you can look at when we say tourist sites visits, I want to believe you've covered a range of areas, a range of issues, and you have highlighted serious issues. And I want to commend you for that. But the fact that this is a whole nation and it's first of its kind in the first legislature, you should not have escape. You should not have escape, jump places like the Kanifi municipality and West Coast, which are the hub of tourism in this country. The issues you are going to be informed there are going to help better guide policy making in the future. So this was an opportunity that is missed. Because there, I would have thought you would have consulted not only hotel facilities, but hotel owners association of this country. You would have consulted hotel workers association in this country. You would have consulted even bird watchers around that center, because these are all components that are tied to the development of tourism. We are marketing the Gambia And all these stakeholders have a role to play to advance it or to contribute to its downfall. So we have to study what is happening at the industry, and that place cannot be avoided. Because all of us who are aware with what is happening at the industry, we know what the hotel owners of the Gambian hotel owners are facing, the challenges they are facing. What is it that tourism is not going the way it's supposed to be? What is their challenge as hotel owners in this country? It's their facilities. What are their staff going through? So that we have a holistic approach to revamp our tourism industry. Otherwise, it will not work. We don't go to just site visits and come. I saw you embark on discussions. We expect the same discussions in those facilities, so that you generate ideas from there. They will raise issues that are important to put this country on the right track for advancement in terms of tourism development. So missing that was a big gap in the report. Because I've seen, even Tourist Guide Association, we have engaged them in Janjambure, but that's just for Janjambure. They have a national body. They have challenges. And even during COVID, like somebody said, the hotel owners are one of the sectors that are highly suffered. They are mainly affected, even their staff. And there are issues that they went through that is important for this committee to know in regards to COVID funds. So that was a big opportunity missed. And even the craft markets. Most tourists come here because of attractions. Craft markets should not have been missed in the report. Senegambia has a big one. Bakau has a big one. Other Brikama has a big one. What are these people facing? What are the products they are selling? Why is it not advancing? All these things, because we have to know the ministry responsible for this, they are the one taxed with the day-to-day administration of this sector. So we, playing as an oversight function, we should not miss any opportunity to consult anybody they are dealing with, so that we know the gaps that are there, the challenges that are there, so that we can advise them, we can play oversight functions on them effectively. Otherwise, you meet certain pertinent information, you cannot question anybody. So I think that was a big opportunity missed in the report. We've not consulted or engaged them. Perhaps the committee will consider it in the subsequent tour to engage these people adequately, because they play a pivotal role in the tourism sector in this country. Parks and wildlife also is missed. You've mentioned Kiam Park, Abuko Nature Reserve, I don't see it. And then even for the Minister of Tourism stood here and said they want to link the Abuko Nature Reserve with the one Senegal close after Karang. Fatala, which is going to be disastrous for our industry. It means all our revenue, if Fatala can bring their animals here and people pay here, they give us trinkets and take the rest, it means we are damaging our own this thing. What is happening that we are not bringing animals, we are not reviving what is happening here. The Abuko Nature Reserve is dying. Primary school, I go there on excursion. Go there now and see what tourist attraction do you see there. All these snakes, ugly hyenas, and what? So, what is the issue at the park? That opportunity should not have been missed. The park is dying. Abuko Nature Reserve. So we need to revive it, and I was looking forward to see that in the report, and even tourism board. You should have consulted them. There are a lot of issues that have been raised there concerning petition against the Honorable Minister of Tourism, which is going back and forth, no one knows. And it concerns taxpayers' money. It concerns the resource of this nation. They are stakeholders. We, government, assign them to do a certain responsibility, and they have expertise to do that. You must mirror their views and opinions with regards to what is happening. That opportunity is missed in this report. So on the side of tourism, on the side of Tourism, one more thing, the Mango Park. You know, a 4 million project is there. No attendant is found there. It's good that you highlight those things. That's serious. No attendant, maybe no staff. So this 4 million, is it bamboo trees or what? Or is it some material of value? How is it going to be maintained? I need the clarity on that because, and then the access road. I think the recommendation falls short of creating those access road because it's important. You cannot have a site where you invest $4 million if people cannot access it. What sense does it make? The access road must be made, and you must make stand recommendation for that. When we expect to promote tourism and tourists should go there to visit, how would they reach there if you put 4 million there and they cannot reach there? You know, I think those are serious challenges. And then the report was adequate in terms of information at some aspect. But when it comes to recommendation, let us not be complacent as a committee. Like the speaker said, we did not expect anybody, the speaker said yesterday, we don't expect somebody to design solutions for us. As an oversight committee, why do we need to find, who should find solutions for us? We need to, this report should have generated those solutions. That's where the expertise is. And bring us stand recommendations that this National Assembly can adopt as an oversight institution. But just today, we need to find solutions to challenges and ensure that the tourist industry strives to meet standard. Who will find the solutions if we do not? I find it complacent, and we cannot afford to be complacent in this instant. If we find fault, let's be strong and be straightforward. You cannot beat about the bush. We see issues of mismanagement of funds. We've seen issues of negligence. How can we now recommend that we need to find solutions? Solutions should emanate from here. Who will make it from us? So the committee should have been very adamant with regards to the issues, the challenges they have raised against the recommendations that they are going to put across. That also is missing. Now, I thank the committee for some of the gaps in the Gambia Shanghai initiative, you know. But then the land issue also, you need to take up the issue as a committee because you've raised it, but I've not seen any recommendation with regards to what you're going to do. I've seen the chairman, you said the chairman said they are going to invite this thing in the report, but it's not part of the recommendation column. So I want these land issues, your committee to take it seriously so that it is addressed. And then you see the Shanghai initiative, like we said, we continue saying here, the initiative is to train youths. After they have graduated, you give them startup capital. But according to the report, there is no startup capital. How do you expect them to start to earn a living? How do you expect? It undermines the effectiveness of the project. The project is to train youths, makes them independent and to be able to fend and eke out a living for themselves. Now you train them, you fail to give them a startup. We create institutions with clear, very fine objectives that if we empower it, will raise us from poverty to somewhere else. Now we are undermining it. Train them, but no startup capital. Who should fund it? And we have Ministry of Youth cutting its budget annually. We are just from budget session. How is this not factored in? Startup capital, they should have it. The Caravan President Award Scheme, you know, we have been informed by the report. The students quit because lack of material, which sounds funny. It means the awards, the scheme will be just elephant project. If you look at the challenges, if that place is a remote place, you know, people come from very poor backgrounds. My friend, there must be a program at the ministry level to ensure that these challenges is addressed. Material. What sort of material? Are they in the millions? No. And each year we see NYSS distributing, President was distributing forms for people who are interested. On the whole, when they go there, they cannot meet up the demands of the, why then we have without the President Award scheme? Then it's better we close it. And the most frustrating thing is the courses that are offered there is not tailor-made to the needs of the people in the region. The report says, this is disheartening. People in Kerawan, what are their basic needs? What do they want? What services can flourish in Kerawan? That is what the courses that are trained there should offer. Is it tailoring? Is it gardening? Is it auto mechanic? Because we are not training them in Kerawan to come to Combo and start to live their lives here. It's to create jobs for themselves in Kerawan and the provinces. So provide courses that are tailor-made to fit the job market that are suitable for their district. But the most frustrating thing also is that they have carpentry, auto mechanic unit, carpentry unit, plumbing workshops, but these programs are no longer taught there. So what are we going to do? These are stand positions the committee should take against the Ministry of Youth to ensure that these programs survive. They don't need to fail. If they fail, the country is failing. This small fail accumulated is total failure. So we cannot tolerate some of these things. So it's important, there is strong recommendation against this. We have the whole ministry. What are they doing? With regards to collapsed fences, minor things like collapsed fences, minor things like project being phased out 2 years, still people cannot play in the football field. What money and resources is being wasted. So the report obviously highlighted issues. And the other issues I have just read that are not here, there is just to augment, to make it better. But it's not without good work. It's good work. But the recommendation should be strong. And we make sure we follow these institutions, Gambia Shanghai Initiative, this Kerawan President's Award Scheme, and all these other provincial initiatives must be protected. And us as committees, when we play oversight function, we should not be complacent. Because we cannot allow their failures to become ours. We should not allow that. If they don't do their job, let's do our job. Otherwise, we'll be as culpable as them. If you try to make it cheap, make it the issues raised here are not simple, are catastrophic. They have long-term effects. So let nobody compromise that in the name of trying to make somebody comfortable, or in the name of not trying to go foul against anybody. No, the truth is the truth. If we not do that as Gambia, as a country, we don't go. Even if I share the same party with you, you are not working, I must be bold enough to tell you what you did is wrong. At least for the sake of the country. Definitely. But apart from that, I'm speaking long. Let me just thank the committee and thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, member for Talending Kunjang. I now recognize the member for Opanyomi and give it.
Madam Speaker, I don't think I can talk because my voice. Let me withdraw. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and wish you speedy recovery. Now the floor is to the member for Ilyasa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, it would have been better if the two ministries, that's Ministry for Youth and the other minister, to be present here so that, because important points have been raised here, but definitely for their absence, I don't think that's a good idea. So, the Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues to thank the chairman and the entire team for the effort they have put, definitely to tour the whole country to come up with this report. Honorable Speaker, during their tour, according to the report here, they've realized numerous of problems across the length and the breadth of the country. These are problems that are affecting the whole country. Honorable Speaker, I think this is what is expected for the committee, at least to go out and see things but that is going on for them to see. And obviously, they have done a very good job. Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether the team, whether they've visited or visit Farafenye Mini Stadium, because I did not see that in the report. But Farafenye Mini Stadium is the only mini stadium in the North Bank. And the condition of this mini stadium is not good at all. So that stadium, many activities, sporting activities is done there. But the condition there definitely is horrible. So I don't know whether the team visit this stadium, mini stadium in Farafenye. Honorable Speaker, the two ministries should take note of the committee's recommendation so that they can address some of these problems in the different areas. Because addressing these problems, meaning you are making development, you are empowering youths. And the empowering youths, meaning you are making development in the country. So obviously, for the two ministries to address some of this problem will definitely be a very good idea. So this is why I said it would have been better if they are here so that they can take note of some of these important things that we are saying here today. But unfortunately, they are not here. I think we should wait until maybe another time when they are here so that we can lodge our complaint to them so that they will know how to better address these problems. So thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor.
Thank you very much, Member for Eliasa. And that does it for the list that I have here. And I now invite the mover of the report to respond to issues raised and to wind up the debate. Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Looking at some of the concerns and other recommendations raised by members, first is the Honorable Member for Lower Salum. He said, there was no adequate, inquiry on the land issue, which we have went as long as to ask even the community regarding the Kauru mini stadium, even the youth center, because the issue of the center is a joint responsibility. That is the community that is allocating the land, and the ministry is going to put up the structures. But the ministry was saying it is the community that allocate that land where it is swampy. So they don't have any other land where they can put up the structures, but only to go by what they were given. And that was a concern we also raised. We said at least they should have at least waited and tried to give them a second chance. Because looking at where the center is, even to have an access during rainy season is a problem. We really considered that, and we were saying that we would have engaged the ministry, because for us, we went to the place, but we could not have access even to the youth center because of during the rainy season, it was all swampy, you cannot reach there. For the national stadium, the amount allocated was, he also mentioned about the national stadium, 100 million and 10 million. During our tour in October, the amount allocated was 10 million, because that was the time when the Gambia was supposed to play their match, and FIFA suspended the stadium for not hosting any international match. They have to play their game in Senegal. That was the time the Minister of Youth and Sport have to consult the Minister of Finance based on through their subvention, let them allocate 10 million to give it to the stadium, so that they can at least, based on the agreement with FIFA, some of the areas which are concerns, that is the scoreboard, the pitch, and the toilet, to be upgraded so that they can host their match until further. So that was the 10 million which was disbursed to the management to upgrade those facilities. The 100 million was after our tour, that is in December, which was not part of our report. That will be coming subsequent. So for people to understand that point. For Combo South, he said we call all the institutions and other contractors to answer to the National Assembly regarding contracts and so on. Those are part of our recommendations, because this is just a report which we are tendering at the plenary here, but based on the recommendations, some of these things will be followed up. And the contracts for Gunju was not the ministry, that was under GFF. And for GFF, that is another institution which is under the Sport Council. And our intention is, by making a follow-up or looking at the concern, we need to engage the Sport Council. We will invite the Executive Director for Sport Council, which we will use, because there are protocols. You cannot just jump from the National Assembly and go to GFF. But there are protocols, and GFF is under the Sport Council, and you use Sport Council to at least to engage GFF to come and answer to these calls and to clarify regarding those funds at Gunju. The other stadiums which they are talking about, after our tour, I personally consulted the minister. I said, Minister, we went to these areas, but looking at the condition of some of the stadiums, well, anyway, we are not impressive with them, and I think you need to look at it very well and engage the contractors and see what should be done. He said he have already done that. He have engaged the contractors and the consultant, and now he have written to the Minister of Justice to advise him based on constitutional. And the Minister of Justice also consulted the engineer, that is the consultant, and based on those recommendations, they advised the ministry not to terminate the contract or to take it to court, because if they take it to court, it will also affect the project. And looking at what they have disposed, even if they are to go in for another contract, that will not surface the amount which they should have paid for a new signing. So it's better for them to negotiate so that this contract will be ongoing. And which the ministry did, and most of these project ministerials, they are almost at 85 to 90% of completion, and they are following up so that it can be completed. As of now, the ministry is still holding the 10%, which they should pay after completion, and when they completed the projects, they will also pay that 10%. So when I consulted, they said the project is ongoing.
Point of order.
There's point of
Honorable
order.
Speaker,
So, Honorable Member for Basse, there's point of order. Can you please sit down?
is proceeding without a quorum. And then the member is responding to issues, and then we are without a quorum.
Thank you. Table office, it has been brought to our notice that we don't have a quorum. Can you please ring the bell for 2 minutes? Thank you. We can proceed. House resumed. Honorable Chair, you can continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Now I go to Brikama Note. Brikama Note highlighted some certain issues, that is the fourth bullet, that there should be given financial motivation, and not only on financial motivation, there should be permanent staff from the ministry to preserve and manage these facilities. For Kunta Kinte, he recommended that the area should be well protected and preserved, to develop all challenges and put recommendations strongly. For GSI land issue, I think that was also an issue which is on the table with the committee up to now. Because the first meeting we have, or the last meeting we have with the ministry, those were part of the recommendation we did, that the ministry should submit all documents related to GSI land project. And when we went there, the issues or the concerns they put before us was the equipment were down, and which I think the committee did it due diligence during the budget allocations. We were able to at least raise almost 3.5 so that they can use that to at least to acquire some equipment in order to further their operations. We did that because we seen GSI, which is a very important institution, which can be replicated in all the regions, because it is there to at least to create more job opportunity for the youths and also to bring food on the table. For Fulabantang Mini Stadium, the Fulabantang Mini Stadium, he said, was not a priority, and he don't know what were the criteria used for the ministry, and which we will also follow up, because maybe there are criteria they use, which we will also follow and at least try to furnish this committee and look for way forward. The Brikama Mini Stadium land issue, we went there, but what they said, they were using in-house first, that is at their local level. They were using the governor's office and other elderly people to see how best they can resolve this issue. And we also told them whatever situation it is, let them get back to us, and we'll be keen to understand the level of their settlement. If they cannot address it at that level, we will also use the Sport Council in order to intervene. Because we know if we should allow it like that and they succeeded, other areas also will do the same thing. Because all these lands belongs to communities of big household names. So if they should succeed, others also will do the same thing. So we are not relenting to make sure the Brikama land issue is resolved, because in my tenure in office in Serakunda Central, there was a land issue. I have to follow it up to KMC to make sure that land is allocated to the youths, and the KMC compensated the woman who owns that land. So the same thing, we will follow suit to make sure the land issue is addressed. The National Stadium for the 100 million, which I mentioned just recently or before, that is the 10 million which was allocated, not the 100 million. The 100 million is just this December, and that was before that is after our tour. So it's not 100 million, it's 10 million. Basse Mini Stadium, you said it should be developed to a standard. You are very right, as you said, it's at least is one of the second capital, or the second capital of the country. And if you look at the population density around that, and even when it comes to sports, because as it used to be when it comes to athletes in those days, when you are talking about national athletes or national players, apart from Banjul, KMC, or West Coast, the next region athletes who are coming from is Basse, because Basse have been representing the national teams for several times. And I think they deserve to have a proper stadium. Thank you, Honorable Member. For Banjul North, he said he needed an answer or a clarity that Banjul is the capital and why it's not part of, and we said from Banjul to Koina or throughout the country, why Banjul is not part of the report. I'm just saying we are sorry, but we went to Banjul. It's just that it doesn't reflect on the report, but we went to Banjul, we went to the mini stadium box bar, which I used to play before. So I know how it is, and we went to the artificial stuff. We even asked how far about the project. They said it's under completion, and very soon they will start using it. But for the other facilities which we did not inspect, that is the basketball lawn, that is the Mani Silla Memorial Lawn. I don't know whether you have to name it or not. That one we did not visit it. But what we did was, because of the time allocation, they gave us only 9 days. We cannot meet up all these sporting facilities and also meet up all these tourism or historical areas or ecologies. We cannot make it at one tour. So we decided to shift some of them to the second phase. Joshua. He said the contract to be allocated to gun works for proper monitoring and awarding of contract. Well, those will be part of our proposals, but again, we don't know what is the policies between government and gun works and how do they transfer responsibilities from a ministry to gun works, which we will also follow up and to know what are the nomenclatures or what are the programs or policies which they use in order to transfer contracts to gun works, whether gun works can represent any of the ministries. With that, if it is fine, I think we will do the needful to advise them to do that, because they are the specialists when it comes to contract awarding and monitoring. Thank you so much for raising that concern and also guiding. The river transport from Banjul to Basse. Well, anyway, we love to see that, because it used to happen. That is the Lady Chile, the Lady Right, and so on. But it's no longer happening. But they are saying it used to happen also from Banjul to Albreda or Jufre, which was helping them, and those who are no longer existing even right now. So if it is being reintroduced, it will be more than good, because in fact, the Ministry of Works and also Tourism, I think they should come on board so that they can have that MOU to see how best it will be revitalized, so that it will also help. It will also reduce maybe the road accidents and other things on the road. It can even use for cargo. They can even use it for cargo. For the land ownership, for Birkama, which I've already mentioned, we will work on it. The Kunta Kinte, for government to take it seriously and to at least try to rehabilitate the place so that at least it can serve its purpose. And that was also part of our recommendation, because when we went to Kunta Kinte Island, we were even surprised some of the artifice or some of the walls were already been eroded away, and you cannot even, some of them, they cannot even tell you the areas which are left there. They cannot even explain it properly, because they find out some of the houses halfway is already gone. So for them also, they are even feared nowadays. In fact, some of them is not, they said it's not attracting the tourists so much, because most of the natural ones are already eroded. So if the tourism or the tourist sector should try to come to their aid, at least rehabilitate that place, maybe, and even not even rehabilitating, but also to provide some facilities there. Let's say a bar or restaurant or whatever, so that at least some of them can be there to serve some of the tourists food or drinks. The GSI youths, who are certificated. You said who are certificated, what are they doing? Whether they should be re-engaged and also try to give them some capital to make a startup. I think that is very important because we even asked that question when we went there, that when they train and you left them, what are you going to do? So in fact, some of them said, that is our question right now. In fact, they are trying to see whether they can, through their proceeds, if they are able to make some savings, they will see what they can do for the students or the youths who have passed through there and been certificated to engage themselves. In fact, some of them are taken to Basse because you have one youth farm which is at Kundam. Some of them have been taken there at least to train those ones also because they want it to be replicated in some of the regions. Latikunda Sabiji. He said the contract awarding, the procurement and the processes. For those contracts, they were awarded before our coming into office. But we are also following because we asked the minister, we want to see some of the documents so that we can at least monitor the projects which is ongoing and we know what is involved and what is the risk attached to it. So he promised that they will do so, the needful to supply us with some of the information regarding to those contracts. He also said the ministry to go to court. That was their first initial stand, that is to take the contractors to court. But when they consulted the Minister of Justice, they advised them based on what is better for the ministry or what is the interest of the ministry. And when they did that, the ministry go by the advice, and I think it has paid dividend because the project is ongoing now. Sabah Sanjay said about Rasulin. For him, he said he's interested more in Rasulin. Well, for Rasulin, what we can do is to engage the National Sport Council through the desk officer for Rasulin, where we can engage him and see how best we can engage him to develop Rasulin throughout the country, not only Sabah Sanjal, because I know Rasulin is one of the traditional cultures we are left with. Because this football is European game, we are left with Rasulin. As you can see, even during my celebration, I organized Rasulin because that is our culture. So, in fact, that is my responsibility to engage the Sport Council through the desk officer to see how best we can develop or revive Rasulin in the country. Because I was part of the members at KMC to see whether Rasulin can come back. I went to KMC to pursue so that they can have a arena. I pursue until we were able to get a land at the Buba zone, and it is even fenced. But they want everything silver spoon on the table. We asked them, we have worked for you to get a land. Now you also have to work with your sister international organizations to support you in order to develop it. So they are working on it. The land is there at the Buba zone. It has been fenced, and it's still there for Rasulin. Fonyi Councillor. Fonyi Councillor, yes, you said we jumped you.
Yes, I jumped.
Unfortunately, maybe on the map. But we are now moving into the second phase.
Say it again.
No, let's. So it's for the second phase. So we are using it for the second phase because, as I said, what we prepared before, and after when the request was sent to Clark, we are only given 9 days, and we cannot exhaust all what we wanted to do. So we try to divide some of them. At least every region, we can visit at least 2 sporting facilities, maybe 2 tourism facilities, whether eco lodge or cultural. At least every region we cover it. But we will be coming for the second phase, whereby we will adjust some of them. So we are coming. Just wait for us. For the GSI sustainable growth, yes, it's good for you to mention that. And it's also part of our agenda to make sure GSI is sustained and is also upgraded. Because we want it to be replicated in all the regions. That's why the committee stood by the ministry to at least to lobby for more funds in their budget so that they can be allocated. Only GSI will allocate 3.5 million to buy equipment and support themselves. So thank you so much. for the NYC for the youth groups. Of course, we will also engage NYC. It's good for you to propose, but that was part of our agendas in order to see youth groups to be engaged. In that, we even also went as far to create more funds for the youth committees so that they can do their responsibilities, their TORs, and also do capacity building. Because some of them, if they are not capacitized, they cannot know what is the act of their act, and they don't know what is their policies. So they must be capacitized and also to know their policies and their acts in order to operate. So that is part of our program, and also we are communicating with the minister so that at least all the youth committees or sport committees have an office and let them be subvented every year. You said the fence of the stadium. Okay. So the fence of the stadium, as looking at the scale of preference or demanding the demands of the stadium, I think that was not a major issue right now at the stadium, because what we are working on is looking at the major areas whereby we can beat the GFF, or how to call it, the FIFA, at least so that they can lift the suspension. So the areas which they highlighted as sport areas, which should be addressed so that they can give us a green light to organize matches or to handle our matches, to play our matches home. Those are the areas they concentrate in first, then later they come on the fence. That is the outside perimeter fence. So it will be handled, and I think it was almost been completed, but because of last year, the rain, it went, some of them collapsed. So I think they will come back to that. You also said contractors, institutions to be held responsible in failing their mandate. Yes, that is in fact one of our primary objectives. That is to make sure we serve what we are supposed to do. That is to protect and the funds of this country so that it will be utilized judiciously. So we will also make sure the ministry, we will hold them responsible wherever it is needful. Sani Mentere said the alcalos of Albreda and Jufre for their salary payment. Well, anyway, for this payment, it's not. I think it's an MOU within their community, which we have no hand in it. You understand? Because it is their cultural area, and they believe some of those alcalos can be compensated based on their own MOU, which we cannot do. What is important here, who is receiving this fund and who is managing this fund and where the fund will be. But if they agree on consensus with the tourism that they should compensate the alcalos, whatever, is based on them, and also the Kunta Kinte family, who are also benefiting from these funds, which we also have a limit, we think. But what is important is to make sure to hold the ministry responsible, or the institution responsible, the NCAC, to make sure the funds are well managed and it's kept in a safe place. The Sukura Mini Stadium, well, anyway, it's the name, it's how it is branded. Whether it is something is there or not, we call it Sukura Mini Stadium, or Dembadu Mini Stadium. You call it Dembadu. You want Dembadu? For Dembadu, it's under the GFF. They were the one who spent money there to upgrade those facilities. That is Sukuta, Serakunda East, Serakunda West, Banjul, and others. But we also, as I said, we will consult a sport council to make sure they get to GFF and to ask them how far about these sporting facilities. Because there were funds being given to GFF to upgrade these facilities. So, and it's part of their MOU. We also go and look at, because they have MOU with all the sporting facilities, in order to develop their facilities and have a percentage, like Serakunda East and Serakunda West, so that they can organize their divisional matches there, and the gate takings, there is a percentage which both of them will benefit. So we'll use Sport Council to know what were the arrangement which they make with GFF. And if there is any fund which was allocated to Gambia to GFF to develop sporting facilities, and Sukura is part of it, we'll make sure Sukura get their money so that they can develop their premises. Thank you. Talinding Kunja. And also you said the music, sorry, before telling you, you said the cultural musicians, especially to develop them and at least empower them. Well, that one we need to engage the how to call it, the NCAC. And I think the minister was here saying that they want to bring back the national troupe. So that is part of maybe a project which they want to revive or even support the musicians. Because the National Troupe Project is part of supporting the musicians and also promoting the music. But we will also ask them what are the policy guidelines which they put in place and how are they going to fund it. So we'll go further to know what are the technicalities in it. So I think it is important for us to look at our musicians because we are losing most of them. And when we asked for history, they said music started in the Gambia. And some of the musicians started through Gambia to Senegal. And now we are far behind them. So it's important for you to raise it, and we also take it up with the ministry. Talidin Kunjang. We are talking about the hubs, and you have mentioned so many institutions where you have the tour guide association, the craft market association, you have the hotel association, and also the bird watchers. Those are the areas we put aside for the second phase. But for sure, we'll get back to them because we even invited them on a meeting. We have discussion with them. They have put on so many points for us and some of their concerns and the issues they have with GT board and others, and we are following up. So make sure at least it has been addressed. For GT board, we are represented because the ministry was represented. When we were going, they gave us the name Aya Awanyasi, who was representing the ministry and GT board. So they were represented for the other institutions or the associations, which we'll get back to them in the second phase. And thank you for giving us that reminder. For Mango Park, 4 million was spent on the project. The 4 million project was for the fencing and the security room, so that at least, because they said the monument which is there is fading. And even the plaque which was there, somebody came and took it. So there was no security. It was left like a wild elephant in the bush. So I think the tourism industry or the tourism ministry decided to fence the entire premises and put up a security room there. For the road, I don't know whether it will be the first or their second phase. I cannot tell. But we will also engage them because we find it very difficult even to reach to that place. Today, any of our members, if you tell them Mango Park, they will even say, where? We are not going. Even the driver will not want even to mention about Mango Park. Because we trek almost about 5 or 6 kilometers to reach to that place. So really, at least road access is very important. Maybe we will also consult them. What about the road access? Are you planning for it or are you going to develop it? Because if you don't develop the road access, it's of no use. It means the 4 million, it will be a waste. Because nobody will trek to go to that place for 4 or 5 kilometers. So we will engage them on that. And thank you for putting that on spot. To create funding for the GSI, which I mentioned several times. For Kerewan Skill Center. In fact, that was also our words when we went there. We told them, you just took what is in KMC or Bakau, you brought it here. So you don't know whether it is their demand. We even we told them even, I think it's better for you to go and look at a mechanic who's a qualified mechanic. You have an MOU with him so that he can do his garage here, he will bring his apprentice. At the end of the day, you have at least have an agreement whereby you have a share. Or else it's a waste. Because if you look at most of the equipments are even deteriorated there. So it's only the sewing and the other sector which are functioning. So that one is need to be rebranded to suit the demands of the community around that end. For Ilyasa, we said the 2 ministries to take note to address some of the problems. And we will highlight most of them which are raised here, and we will engage them for further discussion, and we try to address them one after the other. Thank you so much, Speaker. I think these are the things, the concerns and some of the concerns I raised. If there's anything I left behind, maybe you can easily bring it up so that I can answer it. Thank you.
Yeah, member for Brikama North and the minority. leader.
Speaker, I have few points that I want to draw attention for correction. That's not, a few are typos and the other one is a recommendation to be added to the conclusion. Page 4, page 5, and page 33. Page 4 is a few corrections. Page 4, under Kunta Kinte, second line, where it reads half kilometer away from, the word from is missing, away from Jufre Adreda community. That's for page 4. The word from is missing. And page 5, under challenges, the second line, proper maintenance before it is too late instead of us. Before it is too late, that's for page 5. Page 5, on the number 1, on the challenges, second line. And then the last one for correction is page 33. Page 33, on the Brikama Mini Stadium, the first paragraph, the 5th line, where we have Mr. Demba Jaju. The name of the president is Lamin Dembajang, I believe is the surname, Dembajang, instead of Demba Jaju. Dembajang. Yeah, Mr. Dembajang. And the Demba Jaju is being repeated. In the last paragraph, the 4th line, Mr. Jaju should be Mr. Dembajang. And the same paragraph, the last paragraph, the first line, one clan of Brikama called Bulunda is not a clan. It is the Council of Elders of Brikama. Instead of one clan, should be Council of Elders of Brikama called Bulunda. And the last one is the recommendation on the conclusion. That is, I'm recommending we add on the conclusion. Finally, the committee shall develop resolutions from the challenges and recommendations and ensure the implementation. So that's my proposal. The committee shall develop resolutions from the challenges and recommendations and ensure the implementation.
Thank you very much, member for Brikama North and minority leader. I'm sure the clerk and have you noted those corrections and also chair his recommendation. Minority, is that okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, honorable members. I want to thank you sincerely, but most especially those who participated in the debate, as well as those who stayed up to this time round for your invaluable contributions and time. Now I put the questions. Be it resolved that this Honorable Assembly do adopt the report of the National Assembly Select Committee on Tourism, Arts and Culture, and Youth and Sports Countrywide Visit to Sporting Facilities and Tourist Sites 2022. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, honorable members, and of course, Chair and other officials who were here to listen to the debate. And on that note, I now put the questions. Be it resolved. Yes? Come. Thank you. She's been reminding me that the report has been amended, has been adopted with amendment. Thank you very much, Office of the Clerk. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 9th March 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stand adjourned until Thursday, not Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday. Until Thursday, 9 March 2023 at 10 a.m. from the member for Combo South. The House of